Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's all right. Let's just move this here. Nice to have you on board as usual. Hope everybody is going to have fun tonight. We are, of course, going to have a unboxing of a new radio. Always kind of exciting to have new radios. Just make sure this is okay. That's all right. We're going to move that here. And we're going to move that there. And Saturday is going to be some changes here, so you guys going to see a different background. We're going to have a few things that are going to be kind of changed to make things better for you guys to view. Here we go. There we go. And here we go. That is cool. That is cool. And that works fine. Okay. Here we are, everyone. So, hello, everybody. Hope that everybody's all right. This is the Wednesday for North America, the Wednesday edition of the Shortwave live stream. For the rest of the world, it's pretty much the Thursday edition of the live stream. But we are here to entertain, talk about radio, and have fun. I will also talk about a little idea that I have, and that could turn into something else eventually. But that could be fun to dabble on the VE2 Zulu Zulu India ham radio channel. That's something that I thought would be fun, I think. And we'll see how it goes. Because, of course, we got to make some amateur radio content at some point. So, welcome aboard. My name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That is northeast part of North America. And we are here with a show every 2 times a week, actually. The first one is on Wednesday at 0 UTC. That's Thursday UTC, but Wednesday for North America, Thursday for most of the world. We are also live on Saturday at 20 hours Universal Time. And of course, we talk about radio, shortwave radio in general, any kind of radio, pretty much. And we just have fun among some really cool people that are very nice and always great. So it's cool to have all of you here as usual. There's a chat room that you can join if you do like the show and you have a Gmail account. You can join the chat room and then have a conversation with everybody. And we, of course, have great people. You can ask questions. It's a great place for newcomers to the hobby, also because this is the place. This is the place um, for, I think, helpful comments and helpful answers to all sorts of questions. There are no dumb questions. We all have to start somewhere. It can be as simple as what the hell is shortwave radio? That's a very good question, actually. When the show is over, there's a Facebook group, and that Facebook group is also very nice. Um, we continue there, so you can join the Facebook group and make sure that you continue having fun, sharing what you're listening to with others. Um, if you are not on Facebook and create new profile, that won't work unless we really know you are, because we try not to accept anyone that is just created a Facebook profile for a very simple reason. It's one of the common ways that trolls are actually getting in. So by not accepting anyone that has, a new Facebook profile, we know that we're keeping out people that would create just a Facebook profile for crapping out the Facebook group, which would be kind of bad. So you have to be on Facebook for a while, and if you are new, you will have to Either send me an email or let me know. Okay, well, I just created a Facebook profile. I am this person in the chat room, and from there we can work out the way to accept you. But sorry for I would guess some people that are new to Facebook and are probably honest person might have been rejected, but that's the way it works to keep safe. And you have to answer the questions. No radio questions answered, not getting in. Very important. I let go the one with about agreeing with the rules of the group. But if you don't answer a radio question, why are you just bothering getting in? Uh, there's no passing that at all. So we are on a -9 degrees Celsius in Montreal. It was very cold in the past couple of weeks, a couple of days. Sorry, we've had record -20, not a record, but -25 yesterday morning in Montreal. It was -25. We actually broke a record of electricity consumed by the population. We something like 29,800 megawatts of power were being used at some point yesterday, which constitutes a record electricity consumption for Quebec. Last time that had happened was in 2018, I believe, or 2014. I don't remember. So lots of electricity, especially when you think that most of us here in Quebec are actually heating our homes with electricity. So that means when it's cold, well, of course, there's a lot of electricity needed to make sure we keep warm. So pretty crazy stuff. Okay, Bobby Burgess, WA5107 SWL, Morgan City, Louisiana. Nice to have you here. Matt, MDK2 from Denver, Colorado. Hello there. Rob, nice to have you here from Phoenix, Arizona. Dwayne from Tennessee. Mark Cope, WA5153 SWL from Dallas, Texas. Jay Watterson, 69. Nice to have you on board. TVDXer, ça va bien? J'espère que tu vas bien toi aussi. Nice to have you here from not very far from Montreal. James Farley, nice to have you here from Old Bridge, New Jersey. Vojislav, nice to have you here from Serbia. And apparently some activity on 4625 over there with Pirate playing music. With all the things happening with Russia right now and Ukraine and Kazakhstan and all of that, I'm pretty sure the radio bands around that area are busy with all sorts of pirates and all sorts of activity. I think if you, here in North America, do try to listen to these frequencies. But if you're in Europe, I think you guys are probably well placed for the action of HF due to all the things happening. Cheers. This is a screwdriver. It's vodka and orange juice. So, it's part of the politics. When something bad is starting to happen, well, you'll have more activity on the bands. David, KJ4CMY, nice to have you here from Central Georgia. Shelly, nice to have you here from South Central Pennsylvania. We have Kamaxi 1976 from West Michigan. Nice to have you here. We have Dave from Indy. Nice to have you here, Dave. We have we have Toast and Loaf. Hello there. Nice to have you here. Where are you located? Dean, nice to have you here from Georgia. We have Keegan, XN80Xer. Nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. Stephen Wood, nice to have you here from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. James, nice to have you here from Prospect, Connecticut. TVDXer says Australia Post has released a new design for their IRCs. I was surprised to see that they were still issuing them, yet alone redesigning them. Wow, that's interesting. I guess some countries probably still have them and use them, but pretty much here in Canada. I don't think you can get any, and in the U.S. either. So they're probably slowly, but it's interesting that they're actually redesigning them. You know, the biggest problem with the IRCs, the international reply coupons, was always that because technically an IRC is you can actually exchange that for postage, international postage for a letter you want to send. But it never worked like that. And every time we would write to someone, they would always say, "Oh, you need two IRCs, three IRCs," and those were pretty expensive actually for what they were. So it was crazy, and nobody knew what they were, anyways. Most of the time, you would just go there and they would stare at you like, "Huh? What are you talking about? International reply coupon? Yeah, it's in the blue book. They're yellow things." I remember this. It was just so funny because I was always like, "Oh yeah, it's in that blue book over there," and they're like, "In there, yeah." And they would flip the pages. It's like, "Those there, here they are." Oh, and you got to stamp them, by the way, because if they're not stamped, they're not good. My Jam, nice to have you here. RJDA Dakota, nice to have you on board from WA0113SWL. We have, we have, um, we have Brad. Nice to have you here. N5LUL, WA5192SWL. What else do we have? David's got a screwdriver in his toolbox. Bestest Times Reborn. Nice to have you here from North Queensland, Australia. Tostenloaf is Florence in Alabama. Nice to have you here, Florence. I'm seeing it more in French like Florence, but it's like Florence. Franklin, Jesus Aguero Gonzalez. Nice to have you on board, Franklin from Costa Rica. Zach Shack Radio. Nice to have you on board from Alabama. And what else do we have? So the Facebook group is official SWL channel, as Keegan has posted. VT Radio, Paul, AA1SU. Nice to have you on board from Northern Vermont. Home from work with a head cold to Friday. No COVID, thank goodness. Got tested just in case. Cool. The Win 1960. Nice to have you on board from New York. From actually the Seneca Falls, New York. Charles Young from Edmonton. Nice to have you here. And what else do we have? Ricky, this is about radio in general. So it mostly is shortwave radio, but we do talk about amateur radio. We talk about all sorts of things, but kind of focuses on shortwave radio a lot. Nico from the Netherlands. Nice to have you here from the Netherlands. Dark Noise. Nice to have you here from the Netherlands as well. PD3MIK. So nice to have some friendly people and friendly names. And I'm already down the chat room, which is quite unusual for me. I haven't blabbed too much before the show started officially. So, hey, look at that today. I've got this little baby. So, the story behind it, first of all, is that this is radio that somebody talked in the chat yesterday. And I went on Amazon Canada to see how much it cost, and it actually was on a like 2-day sale. So I actually paid 99 bucks Canadian. But today it's back at its regular price, which is 149. And so I thought at 99 bucks, what the hell? Let's go for it. And also at the same time, it'll let me test it out and give my opinion of it. I've read a lot on it. I've read Radio J. Allen's review. I read many other reviews and many other information online about this radio. This is the BT edition Bluetooth because there was a first edition that had no Bluetooth, and apparently what is happening is that the Bluetooth edition is way better than the original one. They've made some modifications and it transformed this radio from what I see, a rather crappy experience on the original for a lot of people because apparently there was a lot of quality control issues, and it apparently they fixed those types of problems on this edition, and it also has much better sound. So this is an AM FM shortwave receiver. Has full coverage up to 29,999 kilohertz, and does not have single sideband. It has Bluetooth, so you can actually pair it with something if you want to play audio through it, probably because it has better sound. So nice looking receiver, and we're going to unbox this in a few minutes. So at 99 bucks, I thought, yeah, let's go for it. Back to 149 today. I've noticed that price in the US seems to be 129 on Amazon. So we'll see if it's worth the price that it's sold for. And pretty nice. It's pretty heavy actually. With the box, it's surprisingly heavy, and it's going to be nice to test this out, of course. And we'll try to tune some stations with it today. See how it goes. I don't know how I don't know what's the antenna connections on this thing, but we're gonna check it out. I know that it requires 4D batteries, so that's why I prepared 4D batteries so I can actually power it up. So we're gonna play around with this little thing, and we're gonna unbox it live. So hope you guys are gonna be interested in seeing this. VT Radio says he messed with IRCs and glad they're gone. Yeah, pretty much. It was always a kind of a painful experience with those. TVDXer, my opinion of the Sangean ATS 909X2, it's beautiful radio, works great, but has its flaws for the price that are unacceptable. That's mostly what I would say, but it's a decent performer in general, and no muting when you tune around. As the airband here in Montreal, it's a little problematic because the FM station's breakthrough makes the um, the radio useless in some frequency ranges on shortwave, and pretty much useless for me on the airband. So that also is something that's kind of sad for a radio that costs that price. But when you have decent performance on some frequency ranges, like for example on shortwave, I do get good reception with the MLA30, and it's very simple why. On the MLA30, it's not very sensitive to the airband, so that breakthrough, not the airband, the FM band, so the FM breakthrough doesn't happen, and I get shortwave. So on an external antenna like the MLA30 or an external antenna that would like not be sensitive to FM frequency range, it could actually work well. It's an okay radio. I'm not, I'm not in love with it. It's a very beautiful looking radio. I would rather have, if I had a choice, if I had no radios and I had to buy one, it would not even be in my in my list of radios to buy. I would buy I would probably get, if I can buy whatever portable, I'd get a Texan H501X. That would be my first choice over any other radio, honestly, for shortwave listening. But it's okay. It works well, and anybody that has it, I think, are happy. Anybody that has it are happy. So it's kind of cool. Hey, Jean Michaud, nice to have you on board. Yeah, but it was like a 2-day sale or something, because when I clicked yesterday, I was very lucky. I clicked yesterday and it said last day, last chance to get it at that price. And indeed, today is back to 149. So it's kind of lucky. Just a lucky shot of looking at the price yesterday. So, but look at Amazon regularly if Um, um, if it might come back to that price at some point. Um, what else do we have? VT radio, no sing detector since it does not have single sideband. You need a radio that has a single sideband capability for sing detection. Because you need to have the ability to replace a carrier. Jay Watterson says, after checking out Eton's Red Cross emergency radio, it's going to take something special for me to check out anything else from Eton. Charles Young says, has Eton replaced Grundig? Grundig brand, the name Grundig has been sold many years ago. And what happens is that the company behind it has pretty much used the kind of interchangeable Grundig Eton, or sometimes both on the radio. So sometimes you'll see a Grundig radio, sometimes an Eton radio, sometimes it's an Eton Grundig edition. All I can say is do not look at Grundig as a fantastic brand today, as it's just a name. And you can have some crappy stuff coming out. They're surfing on the popularity and the notoriety of what Grundig was, simply. But it ain't a German-made Grundig radio. And all of what's coming out, some of it is nice. Some of it is forget it. And if you buy a Eton receiver or a Grundig branded receiver, it's a hit or miss most of the time. You don't know if you're going to get a good radio or not. There's some crappy stuff. I've got a Grundig S450 DLX. What a crappy thing. That thing worked. I've used it maybe a dozen times to make videos and stuff. If you go back to my videos, you'll see. It was in storage for like 6 months, a year. Took it out for a spin. Doesn't work anymore. Nothing happens except, it turns on, but nothing happens. I can't tune around the stations. I can't change anything. It's completely dead. And I haven't done nothing with it. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people on the S450 DLX find that it actually is a really bad radio in quality control. There's something messed up. It's sad because it's a really cool looking and big, nice radio, but mine just doesn't work anymore. And this is the kind of thing you get now with Eton and Grundig. You get either a great radio, you get either a bad radio, or you'll get something that's good as a start and degrades quickly for some reason. So kind of sad. So if you look, if you see Grundig today, don't necessarily think, oh, it must be a great radio. It's a Grundig. Nope. It ain't what Grundig was. It's not like I said, it's not a German-made radio. 45 unit, nice to have you on board. Meta Lunar, nice to have you here. Jim Plummer, nice to have you on board. Jim from North Carolina. And I said he's bought 2 radios because of my channel. TVDX doesn't sound like I'd like it then. It was reviewed in the 2022 World Radio TV Handbook, so I thought I'd ask your opinion. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a good radio. It's a good radio. If you get it, it's not a bad radio. But there are a few things that I just can't accept. Also, it's like why is it that you can't switch bandwidths on single sideband? It's a must. It's a must. You can on AM, but not on single sideband. I don't know who took that decision. It's so weird. That variable bandwidth thing that they say is the next generation of coolness in receiving stations is the next generation of the most crappy new feature I've seen in a radio. It does not work at all. It's a mess, and you just want to turn it off. First thing you want to do is turn it off. As simple as that. But for the rest, sensitivity is good. And the telescoping antenna sensitivity is also uh, better than the X and the original 909 that were a little deaf on telescopic. Um, if anybody that has one, I think is happy in general with it. Um, it has a slight off frequency, so you're not necessarily getting one that is exactly precise. That's a hard thing also for a radio of that price that you have that lack of precision. If it was like the Texan receivers that you could actually calibrate it, it wouldn't be a problem. You just calibrate. But these little things like that, that's like okay, not my favorite, honestly. But like I said, it for a lot of people that have it are happy with it, and I think that's the important thing. If you live in the right environment, it works. It works well. It's sensitive and it works well. And Andrews, no single sideband is a hard pass. Yeah, it's I rarely buy radios that have no single sideband unless they're really cheap. Um, Past a certain point, you kind of expect it. So on a radio like this one, especially if I had, if it was like now it's 149. If at 149, I'm in the mode of, I understand that they put the money in some other spheres of the radio, like the speaker system and audio and all of that, and I get it that to add single sideband, maybe they had to sell this radio $50 more, and they didn't want to do that. But it's there's a price point where no single sideband on a radio, I have to say, it's a hard sell. But like I said, I think it was the last show or in the past um, shows. Um, Single sideband, there's a lot of people that don't care for single sideband. They just want a good looking big radio that is decent and performs decently, and that's all. They don't care about single sideband. And maybe for these people, the radio like this is appealing. And I mean, it's a big radio. It's a nice big radio. Mike WDX50, nice to have you on board from Northwest Arkansas. Avid tea drinker. I remember buying a radio like this, but I had to return it because it was having problems with drifting, which was too bad. Yeah, there's you're probably talking about like the S350 and stuff like that. The Eton S350, as an example, that is a radio that drifts. We see less and less of those today. Jay Watterson 69 says that he trusts my reviews, as my assertions have always been on spot. It's a question of just observation. I will look at other people's reviews. I find it interesting to see what other opinions about it, what they find good, bad, and how they rate a radio. And then I do my own listening with it, and it's my experience, my radio experience. Kind of just follow my guts, my instincts of how the radio performs compared to all the radios I have, and it gives me an idea. I can actually uh, I know what if a radio is good or not, and the shortcomings. What's the problem with one of them? Meta Lunar. Sometimes while tuning around, I have heard what sounded like ham talking, but in full AM, not SSB. I don't remember the band now. Do hams sometimes not use SSB? Yes, there are these AMers. One of the most common frequencies you'll hear them at night on 80 meter band, around 3875 to 3885 ish. You can say 3870 to 3890 kilohertz. There's a bunch of AM guys there. But you have AM on pretty much all the AM bands. If you have 40-meter hams, I also hear some quite often around 7290, 7295 kilohertz. 14290-ish is a place also for some AMers. In the top of the 15-meter band, 21440, then that range, there's some AMers. The 10-meter band, when it's open, the first 150 kilohertz roughly of 29 megahertz, and not 28, 29 megahertz, that higher part of the 10-meter band, from 29,000 to 29,150-ish. You'll hear some AMers there too. And even above that, there's some FM. So, yep, there's hams don't are can use any mode. The only rule is not as long as things are not encrypted, but they're allowed to use pretty much any mode as long as it respects the specifications of where the band are, on what band they're using it, and so on. So, Larry Cordy, nice to have you here from New York. Art, nice to have you here. K2ADC in New Jersey. What else do we have? Dwayne, back in 1999 or 2000, I had a Sony Shortwave 1 with the whole kit, and it looked brand new. I turned it on one day and no receive. Keegan has the Grundig S450 DLX since August 2012. What else do we have? Mad Radio DXer, nice to have you on board. So take care. It's a great place to fall asleep. Keegan says the Grundig S450 DLX had tuning issues later. I had to tune very slowly, or it would jump a few steps or frequencies depending on if it had it on fast or slow tuning. Yeah, the encoder and the radio itself has tons of little things. I hope yours at least works longer than mine. Blind Picker, nice to have you here. W0RAB, Robin, Connecticut. Nice to have you here. Dan, nice to have you on board. And everyone, may the RF gods be with you. It's 40 Fahrenheit in Ohio, N8 WJZ. Cool. Sun Farrell's following along on the FRG7. John McClure, nice to have you here. Jim Gordon, been looking at one of your old reviews of the Eton Elite Executive. What are your reviews of it today? I should take it out, but it's a pretty decent performer. The Eton Elite Executive is nice. It works well. I need to bring out some of those older ones and do a few more videos again. So that'd be nice. Archer's Out of Croucher's Kitchen. Do you think they'll come out of an SSB version of the Elite? Not sure. I don't think they will do that personally. But you never know. Let's cross our fingers. Maybe ask. Keegan says, I retired the Grundig S450 DLX from use during FM DXing later in January 2019. Okay, so let's open the box. Huh? How about we check what's inside? Empty box. I got an empty box. That'd be a fun live show. Empty box. I don't think so, unless they put bricks. That's a possibility. So this is the back of the box. And so let's check out. Open this here. Nice packaging, I have to say. And let's now see what. Okay, there's a top. There's a top. Let's put that here. So we have the Eton Elite manual. Little manual right here. We have the radio itself. And you know what? The box is still heavy. I think it's the power supply that is supplied with it, which is a pretty hefty supply. I believe there's a power supply with this. Anything else in the box here? This is the bottom. Nope. Let's put the box down. And now, let's open this packaging. There we go. This is interesting. What is this? You put the antenna, put a little spacer between the antenna and the radio, as if they didn't want the antenna to get broken or something. And there's a little spacer at the top also. Okay. Any plastic over it? Yes. Okay. So here's the radio, guys. This is what it looks like. It's interesting dent here, as if it was slightly hit here, and the grill was manipulated a little hard, because I see that there's a slight dent here. So this is the front of the radio. Pretty nice looking charcoal color. Back of the radio. So these connectors are like cable connectors, like F connectors or something. And you've got two connectors there for medium wave. So there's a medium wave antenna. And there's these connectors here. So I don't have the cables for that. But we'll try to set it up somehow on the MLA30, maybe clipping it to the antenna connectors. So decent looking radio first. Let's put that here. And in this box, we have the power supply. And it is definitely one of those. This is not. I can just by the weight. This is not a switching power supply. This is definitely a good old linear power supply. So for the radio. So this is the power supply that comes with it. So hefty and heavy for use, AC/DC adapter. So this is probably a very quiet adapter, I would guess. So okay, so that was the unboxing. Power supply and a radio. No antennas, no earbuds, just a radio and a power supply, seems. So let's put batteries in this thing. And before we start testing it out, D batteries. So here we go. Let's buy the same ones, the Panasonic alkaline. Here. Here's two. And of course, with D batteries, makes this radio quite heavy. Here and here. So we should see something in the front. Yes, we do. This lit up now. So I put the battery cover back in place. And here we go. So maybe I could quickly set the time. T set. That must be time set. Yes, it is. And with the tuning knob. Okay. We are. Oh, 8, 9. Okay, it's an AM, PM thing. I put it always in UTC, so it's 0 hours. And okay, how do I switch between this? Okay. want to switch between one and the other. Okay, well, we'll check that later. So, as RDS on FM, let's try that out. Let's turn it on just for C. One of the first things I'll want to do is remove the beep. So there's bass, treble, RF gain, volume, bandwidth, and there's, of course, the different shortwave bands. The switches seem to be very, very good. Okay, Bluetooth mode. So let's just check an FM station with RDS. So here's a CBC.
And spin around in a circle. He was very friendly with all of the visitors and locals.
And what happened to Kevin?
Well, we don't know for sure.
Pretty good sound.
Something got him, possibly a bobcat. I'm not sure if it's coyotes, but we have had many bobcats.
Known as Outer Ring Road, and a lot of people were demonstrating.
Qui va?
Point de patinoire et lutte pour le...
Lucky for you, that's what I me how to play. Put me in, gave me the sign to react.
Consommateur que le mot viande. Donc, ce qu'on a trouvé, c'est que lorsqu'on utilise un produit à base de plantes avec l'association.
Pretty nice audio as for now, and you could see the RDS displayed and the just below the frequency. So one of the things I will check here is how to switch RDS info. Okay, you can switch it with the keylog button, so you get different information like this. So you see it switch between the different information of what's in there. So this is nice. It switches between all the different information you can get on RDS. So this is cool. Seems that they can set the clock automatically with RDS. So the first thing that I'll say about it is the audio is really good, really good. Now we're going to try to find a way to plug this into an extra. Whoops! Youch! Be careful here, not to drop it. It wouldn't be a good idea. So I'm going to find a way to plug my ML830 on it somehow. I don't have the right plug, but maybe with crocodile clips we'll be able to do something. Let me just go through the chat a little bit to catch up. Simon Templar, nice to have you on board, my friend. It was nice to have a chat with you on 2 meters using Echolink. Metal Lunar, if there are breaks in it, at least it'll be entertaining. Kingan says, I used the Eton Grenning Edition Field BT with RDS during FMDXing since 2019. John Umel Noel, VE5 JHM, nice to have you on board, my friend. John Stephanie, nice to have you on board. Says, it's always a rush unboxing a new radio. Yep. Metal Lunar, it came with a factory installed dent already. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's either you got smacked or when they built it, the grill probably maybe already had a dent in it. Maybe the radio didn't get a bump. Maybe it's just, well, I touched the display myself, so it's possible that I did it. And, it comes from Amazon. It's not impossible that somebody else purchased it and returned it. We never know. Maybe that's why it was $99. Maybe somebody just didn't like it. So that's the possibility for sure. We gotta think about that. John Stephanie says, I wonder if you have a repack and notice a thumb smudge. So that's the thing. It's because I did touch the display, and I think the display was okay because that smudge I made. I'm pretty sure. Because when I actually opened it, sometimes they have that plastic thingy over the display that you have to remove. And that's what I was checking on the display. So I touched the display. I don't think it had a thumbprint or anything from the start. It's probably mine. And if I look at the rest of the radio, it doesn't seem, because that's the type of surface you could probably see that somebody handled it if it wasn't cleaned. Check it out here in a different way. So the grill is kind of bent here. It was either bent already and they just put it in anyways on the radio, or the radio got smacked somehow. If I look at the rest here, nothing really seems like it's been really used or manipulated in any way. So I don't know. It's not impossible that somebody else had it before, but I don't know. It seems to work well anyways for the moment. What else we have? Cool AM radio. Oh yeah, I forgot to go and check Cool AM. I'm gonna go check just after the live show. Totally forgot. My Twitter, I almost never look at messages and stuff there. I just go and post, and I rarely take the time to see if anybody has sent anything. I'm gonna go and check it out, Andre. I'm sorry. Toast and loaf, nice and shiny and quiet power supply. Pretty much. I think it's pretty much going to be the case. Robert Cross, does anyone remember PP9 batteries? So what else do we have? What do we have? Dave, when Jill held the radio up to the camera light, the speaker appeared quite small. Actually, here's the thing. This radio uses a very unique technology in its speaker. It is a speaker here and a tweeter. And from what I've read, and go read the Radio J. Allen's post. There's a resonation case in here. It's enclosed, and actually it's interaction between those speakers that creates big sound, and it definitely sounds really good. Even though they look small, the way that they are made, the way that it's done, it's kind of a high-tech audio system in there. So it's not the speaker. The speaker isn't the whole thing, not taking the whole space, but the interaction between the two speakers in it are creating an effect that amplifies the audio frequencies. It's a very unique system. It's a little bit like what the Bose radio systems do. If you look at Bose, there are very small Bose speakers that sound as good as really large, high-powered speakers. And it's all in the technology they use and the way that they have installed them to create the sound chamber, if you want, in it. That makes it sound much more interesting than what it looks like. David likes the RDS. I like it. It's nice. The RDS is really nice, and I like the quick switching of the RDS stuff. So if I go on, so here I showed you the French one, but if I go, let's say I'll go to 88.5, it's a very stiff tuning, and there's a fast tuning, slow tuning. So here, if I go here, So you could see here that it cycles through, and depending on what I'm going to choose. So once again, you could see the speaker system. There's a small one here, and there's a bigger one here. And this is kind of an audio chamber. So you could see the RDS going on here on 88.5, which is CBC or Radio 1. And if I press the keylog button, it does this, CBC Radio 1 as it happens. So the show name is there. So this is pretty cool. I like the RDS. It's big too. It's big too. I like that. I like the fact that the display is really large. You could actually read this from far. So the first impression for FM is nice. I'm going to go and get my station, 107.9. This is going to be a test. If I get WVPS with the antenna barely up,
dollars earmarked for these investments at the state level to sort of bring an integrated
so
service.
WVPS up in
we haven't been able to make
in
that
Vermont,
pivot, necessarily
Burlington,
largely
Vermont.
because of Delta and Omicron now. And you know, our goal is really to do what we can to keep.
So it
schools
seems to
open.
be pretty good for that.
Really want to emphasize
107.9.
certainly the school community that this is not the time to be worrying about SFAC.
So this is WVPS
staying apace with your
public radio station out of Burlington, Vermont. So if I'm getting it with just that of antenna, it seems to perform decently on the FM already, from what I can see. So let me just put the volume down. What else we have? Let me just go here. Okay, so what else we have? Someone needs to revive the real radio. Does 90.3 CKUT have RDS info? Yes, it does. It does. It has it has a call sign and the RDS info. I could probably bring it up here just to show you. 90.3. Here, it's showing CKUT. Just it gives the website actually, ckut.ca. So this is the RDS info I have here on CKUT. Pretty much every radio station in Montreal has RDS. Good evening, Barry. Cooling M, is that Eton manufactured in Taiwan, Philippines, etc.? Good question. Does it say? There's a plate in the bottom, I think. So let me just check out if it says somewhere here. Manufactured in China. Designed in California. Made in China. So this is what it says. Designed in California, but made in China. So, and I know that a lot of Eton receivers are made by Retson. A couple are made by Texan, but it's made in China. Thumb smudge comes with the radio. Yeah, it's a COVID thumb smudge. Get COVID from buying radios. Jason Francis, nice to have you here from Ottawa. Yes, we will have to do it again. Absolutely, Simon. Randall Cluntz, nice to have you here from the Chicago area. Joe Tyson, nice to have you here from Apex, North Carolina, KM4WRQ. I'm gonna check it out as soon as the show ends. I'll head on to Twitter and check it out. Sorry, man, but thanks for taking the time to share stuff. Been using your identification on the International Radio Report a few times in the past month, so it's fun to have it. We can play it. I used it on Sunday's show actually as the first ID. Gary 24 fan, nice to have you on board from absolutely freezing northern Maine. Metal Lunar, that's an interesting speaker design. At least that means they put thought into it. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually the main comment of Radio J. Allen. Apparently, the original first version has very ordinary audio, nothing special. But when they came out with the Bluetooth version that this one is, they totally pimped up the audio. The sound is much better, apparently, and even the radio's quality is better. So, well, I guess I answered your question, Bobby Burgess, to receive the VPR station on 107.9. And with proper antenna place, it probably will get even the RDS from 107.9. Christian Marcoux, salut. Nice to have you on board from North Bay, Ontario. So, yeah, it's kind of a bass reflex system. I think we can call it like that, Nico. It's that kind of system. Actually, one of the radios, the Seacrane CC2E, is one of them. Because of the way that the speaker and the audio system works, they tell you not to put the radio against the wall, the back completely against the wall. It apparently makes the audio sound crappy. You have to give it an inch or two so that the airflow is better. Toastin Loaf, I think my Malachite SDR has a passive radiator and 1-inch speaker. It has great sound for such a small radio. Yeah, it's pretty much the same kind of system. My Chinese Malachite SDR has amazing sound and bass, and it is that kind of technology. Kev Michael wants that radio. Metal Lunar, does it use coax connectors for the antenna on the back? It takes F connectors, just like cable TV, which is not something I see very often on a radio. But this is definitely it's like a cable TV connector. It's an F connector. Kind of interesting. But what I'll do is I'll clip something to the antenna because I don't have that type of cable here, and with adapters to go to my multi-coupler, but I have this, which I will use a alligator clip and try to use it in some way with the tip to the telescopic or something, at least to try to get a little bit of shortwave stuff here. It's going to be interesting to see if we can get some stations on shortwave, because with the telescopic, it's too noisy in here. I won't be getting anything. Skip, nice to have you on board. N2EI from New Jersey, from Chile, New Jersey. Kevin Michael's got FSK on 8415 from the Kara-Sea, Russia. Wow, that's nice. Keegan's going to try CKUT via eSkip. Who knows? No SSB, Kev Michael. That is probably one of the sad things about it. No single sidebands. What else do we have? So you listen to the YouTube one, Cool AM Radio. Barry says, yes, the back of the radio has a bass port. So anyways, if you guys head on to Radio J. Allen, he has pictures. He opened it up. He has pictures of the internals of the radio. So go and check it out, and check out his other reviews. He's got some really interesting stuff there and a lot of radios. If you guys don't know Radio J. Allen, definitely nice to go and check out the website. Okay, how can I connect this? I've got, what do I have here? I've got some. I'm going to try something with this. I'm going to take the antenna and see if I can actually have it go that direction a little bit. And what we're going to do is I'm going to position it in a way. I'm going to put this like this directly on the antenna. And we're going to tune a shortwave band. I'm going to go to Radio Havana, Cuba, just by curiosity. Shortwave. So that's medium wave. There's a slight delay when you switch in the different things. I know that this radio uses the so this does not have a keypad, so you have to use fast to go to a frequency. Now that is an annoyance for me when there's no keypad. Just gonna go to, okay, so this is that 2005 kilohertz here. Buttons on the side. Just gonna check out. Okay, backlight on or off. That's nice. DX local switch. And external, internal antenna. Line out, line in. Speakers, power supply. Okay, whoops, sorry. Sorry there, boing. Okay. We're gonna try to get to a frequency and I'm gonna try a CHU 3330. How can I go faster than that? It's already in fast mode. So learning new radios without reading the manual. Time set quick tune. This is nice. Quick tune to bring me to different bands. Yeah, I remember that on another radio. Yeah. So let's try 3330 out of curiosity. Very stiff, pretty stiff tuning. So 3330, I'm going to try to clip this to the tip of this thing and see. So it brings me a lot of noise. Quick tune. Oh, quick tune jumps 1 megahertz at a time. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing Radio Havana, Cuba. It's definitely not the best to plug it in like this. I do have Radio Havana, Cuba on 6000. Oh, the dreaded muting when you tune. It mutes. And a big muting, too. That's 6115. So that muting is annoying, though. WWCR on 5950. Yeah, I am going to be annoyed by that mute, though. This will be mostly a program listing radio. Fortunately, I would need to have a better connection to the antenna. But anyways, we're getting a Radio Havana, Cuba, WWCR, at least for the first. We're going to try a little bit of medium wave to see what we're going to get there. Of course, it'll be better when I test it fully with, you know, the antennas and everything, and on its own with the telescopic. That definitely will be. But if you hate muting, this is one of the longest soft mutes I've heard on the radio. It might not be for you. It's really, well, this will be a program listening type radio more than a tuning around the band's radio. Take care, Robert Cross. Stay safe. Kim Michaels getting NHK World on 17810. Yeah, the beep has to go. Absolutely. That's one of the first thing I'm gonna check out if that beep can go. I hate beep on any radio. Toast and Loaf, hearing AM stations on 80 meter 3880. It probably is. I just lost my spot. So it probably is Dave, the Reticus or the TVDO V115 does have pretty amazing sound quality. And I think it's the way they enclose a small speaker. It adds to the frequency response because it's a very, very surprising audio on that little small radio. Rufus Newt, nice to have you here from Laurentian Valley, Ontario. Gary S, 80 on 80 meters is one of several AM frequencies. KQ2N, nice to have you here. Kevin Michael, been trying HF Marine on 8 megahertz and 4 megahertz. Been getting fax weather on 8 with Kiwi on the St. G and 909X. Yeah, 8415 or 8416 ish. There's a lot of HF, also Navtex there. You can in the 4 megahertz range. There's a lot of stuff also. It's a question of trying, and you'll even hear a voice, some voice communications. It's just that they're not like they used to be. There's not as many. Metalunar used to have a Sony Walkman in the 90s that actually had a local DX switch, which is funny thinking about it now. Yeah, especially for a Walkman. Red Sky, nice to have you on board from the UK. Notice your new radio has a bass and tweeter. Yep. Mika Delmage, nice to have you here from Sherwood Park, Alberta. +2 Celsius. Slushy everywhere. Nice to be out of the rigid temperatures of the past weeks. Yeah, definitely a nice looking radio. For that, it's a sexy big portable. Mitch, nice to have you here from Arizona. Was just watching your videos on the H501. More coming up actually. Okay, Michael, I have the St. Gian 909X version P01. How do I get the FM band down to 64? I don't remember the procedure. I would have to look into it unless somebody have done it already. It's just a question of changing something. Is it just changing the step size of the AM band? Alec, what happened to official cranberry gel? it's screwdriver gel tonight with vodka, but orange juice. Others Autocraft's Kitchen. I'm fortunate enough not to own any radios with muting. Not sure I could have one. Keegan, on the Eton Edition Field BT and Elite Field, the beep can be turned off by pressing and holding the alarm memory button while the radio is off. So let's stop the radio. And whoops, alarm memory button. Alarm. Buzz off. Now this, I like, oh man, sorry guys. It doesn't say it now, but I like the way it says it. It feels like you're insulted. Buzz off. No, that's a funny one. Buzz off. Okay, guys? Buzz off. Okay? Stop tuning me. I don't care. I like that. Buzz off. Let's do it with just the antenna extended. See if I can. It's very noisy here, but who knows what I can get it. And we'll see the length of the telescopic too, which is pretty long actually. It's pretty long. It's too noisy here. This is the worst place in the world for radio. Definitely the worst place in the world for radio. If it had a, because I don't have the connector, the type of connector needed for the antenna connector in the back, though. So, still finding it funny. Buzz off. What else do we have? Ronald, how do I unlock my 501X? What do you mean unlock? Exactly. Paul Richardson, VE9 VW. Nice to have you here. Artist out of Crafter's Kitchen. That should be the next catchphrase when someone comes into the live chat and starts misbehaving. Buzz off. Yeah, I know. I like it's when I saw it appear like buzz off. It's like, okay. Every other radio I've seen is beep off or beep on. But this one is buzz off. It's like, okay. I'm gonna buzz off. I'm not touching the radio anymore. VE2FJG, nice to have you on board. FGJ. Sorry. I mixed the letters. VE2FGJ, nice to have you here. Everything's fine here. And don't be a don't be a don't be. Do be a do be. Oh man, this is just funny. So let's see here. Can I, in some way, because that doesn't seem to work very well right now. So let me just check the back. What was the back here? The connector in the middle is ground and medium wave antenna. So there's a medium wave dedicated antenna. There's an FM external antenna connector, and there's a shortwave external antenna connector. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if I try something here. I'm gonna do a little experiment. What if I ground? Because I think that's one of the major problems here. If I ground one part of the antenna into the ground connector, if everything blows up, guys, it was nice meeting you. Oh, God. The ground connector, I'm going to shove this here, in there. Can't even shove it in there. I have to do a little more of a work here. So we're going to put that here. I still like the buzz off. I think it's the greatest way of putting something on the display. Buzz off. Yeah, okay, sir. I'll buzz off. I'm sorry. And I'm going to put this here. See if that helps out in some way. Why is it that with stranded wire, we always prick ourselves with some little piece of wire or something? Ow. And we're going to see if that works, actually. If that works better, at least. Well, that's Radio Havana, Cuba. What time is it? We should have, I should technically, I'm going to just turn on here the SDR. Ow. That little prick hurts. Start. Just going to check with the SDR here. I get stuff that I don't get on the radio. So 5990 should be. So yeah, it is, and I'm not getting it here. That's interesting. It's too noisy. Well, I am getting it, but let me check something here. Probably not good enough in the type of connection I did. Because I hear Radio Romania really well on the SDR, but it doesn't come in. It's very noisy on this one. So definitely going to be. Actually, this looks better. Oh, this looks better. Radio Romania on 5990. So that's Radio Romania 5990. That's the guy that's dead on 5950. So quick tune, 6,000 kilohertz. It's very noisy. I'll definitely need to have a better antenna connection on this thing to test it out properly. But I got a few stations. We got a Radio Romania 5990. That's actually quite strong right now. Let me try something I want to try. Quick tune. 1 megahertz at a time. Oops, I need to change band. There we go. Let's try 10,000. Do I hear something? Nothing there. Will I hear Radio Nacional Amazonas on 11780? That's there. Barely there, but it's there. I think this is going to be really needing a better connection for testing it. Okay. What else do we have? DVDX there. How does WCBS sound on it? Okay, let's check it out. WCBS. We're going to go to the medium wave bands. Here. There we go. Okay, I'll have to change. It says here Bluetooth. No, I don't want a Bluetooth mode. Sorry. We will go on the medium wave band. And let's go up to 880 kilohertz. Even though here it's noisy. Now, let me just remove the antenna connections, as this probably is not a good idea. So, and move it away from all of the interference. And it's so noisy here that it's difficult to get anything. When I get far away, I do get it. But I'm getting a buzz right now. Let's see. Let's go to.
Meals, access to
So
counselors,
this is
and much more.
1010.
For information and to make a donation, visit haventoronto.ca.
That's CFRB Toronto on 1010.
With an online quote could save you up to $750. So you can get yourself a new set of golf clubs. Sure, you've never played around in your life, but nothing says I'm living larger like 14 shiny
That
clubs.
speaker sounds really good.
They're direct. Conditions apply.
You're listening to The Bill Carroll Show on the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
Karen, I don't know or didn't know anything about Novak or Novak Djokovic.
Restaurant locations around the Commonwealth.
That's WBZ Boston.
Before the pandemic started, there were just shy of 16,000 restaurants. 3,400 never reopened from the initial 3.5 month shutdown. So we still have
Medium wave seems to be nice on it. Even in this very noisy environment, medium wave seems to be quite good. Very, very good sound, I can tell you that. That's obvious. It's as I'd say the sound of this radio is as good, if not better, than the C-Crane CC Radio 2E. Wholly unaware. What is this? I got the same radio. The big pros are shortwave and Bluetooth. The big con is no SSB. Overall, it's decent, especially if you live in a noisy apartment. My worst place in the world for shortwave, New York City. Yeah, big cities are crazy problem for that. Kev Michael, been keeping an eye on the low FM band in the 70 megahertz range for Japan. Got Brisbane, QSD Australia on 87.7. Interesting. Probably it could be the call letters. It could be a number and the Australian call letters. JD Dakota, portable radio with a real bass reflex and a separate tweeter should sound great. That's a big speaker. Radio Yankee, 30 years ago, my friend ran a pirate station called Voice of Laryngitis. Only played Frank Zappa music. I thought this was hysterical. FCC did not. Yeah, well, back then they were a lot more, chasing a lot more of those pirates than today on HF. Metal Lunar, that is yours, using the same outdoor loop antenna. Yeah, but the problem is I'm just using alligator clips because I don't have the proper connector for the antenna. So that would need to have a proper cable for good shielding from the interference in my room here. So yeah, ESKIP usually is good from about in general, the two big ESKIP times are May, June, July, August sometimes. And there's another spot of ESKIP around the December, January area. Mental Lunar, how do you usually listen to medium wave? Do you just use the internal or do you have an external medium wave antenna? I use the internal ferrite most of the time, which is very, very, very good in general. Driver GDA Dakota, very nice looking portable unit. Yep. With 4D batteries, though, it's a little heavy. I can tell you that. Terrence, did you get your amateur license? Yes, I am Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. What else do we have? Alex says Eton Elite satellite, originally E1, is supposedly coming out in February, based on comments on the thread and shortwave listening. Any opinions on or news on that? Yeah, well, on the thread, depending on where you go, because there's a thread also on the World of Radio group. And most people, by the way that things are being posted, seem to say that they don't believe it will come out. So I don't know who to believe. We'll see when it comes out or not, for sure. So Zen Pharaohs, yeah, he says, yeah, 4G7 is portable and can operate on 8D cells. That reminds me of my realistic my Radio Shack DX302 could run on I believe was 8D batteries. And I had actually used it on 8D batteries at one point because I wanted to test out how shortwave can work in a car. And I had set up a wire around the car back then and tried to listen to shortwave on it. And it kind of worked, but those old radios, they take so much current that even D batteries don't last very long in them. I can tell you that. So Terrence N9BMM, Illinois, cool. So let's see any other medium wave stations in here that we can get when we're moving away from. Actually, what I'm going to do is shut down the SDR here. It's my computer. The WBZ 1030.
Together to make sure.
Kids that go there every weekend that are so good at the
That's
game.
1050 kilohertz.
To one like 10 years ago, and some kid picked me up because I was just a slob walking around, like didn't know what he was doing, and he had found some spot. And you know how your like chest vibrates when you get hit. I'm just vibrating like for 5 minutes. This guy's just setting records off me. I'm trying to turn a corner, Toby kicks me off again.
Continues. That's coming up on KYW. Have you heard? We're on FM. You want to go someplace?
1060 kilohertz.
Follow me. I'll lead the way. Welcome to CBS Morning. See something new.
On these small minority
WTIC 1080.
get vaccinated, even though the vaccine doesn't do anything with Omicron, and we're nearing herd immunity, and they want to rob it. If you heard what Dr. Bosch said, that doesn't make that's ridiculous.
1090.
QC Kinetics.
1100.
TCP Lighting is a proud partner of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Companies, hospitals, doctors.
1130. That's Bloomberg station out of New York. 1130 kilohertz.
Inovalon. Data has a story to tell. We give it a voice. Learn more at inovalon.com. Is it time to pivot? Commonwealth Financial Network can help you recognize when you've reached an inflection point in your business. Whether you're a solo practice that's slightly overextended,
And he will hit the
WPHD in Philadelphia, 1210.
and the second. So Tulsa now back on top, 41-39 for the first time since the early minutes of this game. In fact, the last Tulsa lead was at 6-4. Here they are, 41-39.
1210 WPHD in New York. So it seems to be nice on medium wave. Seems to perform pretty nice, I got to say. Nice little medium wave radio there. Yeah, well, the internal ferrites do have a lot of directionality in general. They are, I don't know how big the ferrite is in this one compared to other radios like the CC Radio 2E, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. Seems pretty good. It'd be nice to test. It'll be nice to compare with the CC Radio 2E also at the same time because it has the same kind of rich, big audio. Nice big radio that's almost the same size. I think that's going to be quite cool to test out here. Can anyone get 6180 kilohertz? I just turned off the SDR. Let me just turn back on. Because when the SDR works and makes my gaming laptop work more, what happens is my laptop becomes a noise creation machine. 6180, can I hear something on 618? Whoops. 6180. Yep, hearing. Sounds like China radio, 6180 kilohertz. The impression is China radio on 6180 in English. Showed me show of carried on top of a mountain, and that was a killer. Zen Pharaoh, speaking of ferrites, my binocular ferrite arrived today, so we'll be able to wind a balun for another Umbru antenna. Cool. I'm waiting for some cable tomorrow. I didn't have time to go to the local surplus store, so I actually ordered cable. I should have 200 feet of wire arriving tomorrow. Zen Pharaoh's here, 1050, 1010 are too easy, but I am getting 1020 KDKA Pittsburgh as well. 1060 KYW at Philadelphia, so that was the station I was getting. Kev Michael at night, KDWN still on 720 from Las Vegas night. Cool. Joseph Ickenbaum, nice to have you here. Keegan heard 1020 KDKA Pittsburgh in Northwest Arkansas. And Pharaohs, by the way, the first 7 is using the MLA 30 Plus, which is showing very well tonight compared to an unamplified homebrew loop I started with. By the way, I am going to get a U-loop. I ordered a U-loop because I want to test it with my MLA 30, compare them. I think it's going to be nice. Metalunar, I'm picking up 1130 cleared and then in Connecticut. Yeah, 1130 is probably strong. Here, there's quite a few New York stations that are really, really strong. 660, the sports station on 660, 770 WABC, 880 WCBS, 1130, of course, Bloomberg station. These are all killer strong radio stations here in Montreal. So when people talk about DX tests on those frequencies in Montreal, it's almost impossible to hear anything because those stations dominate, and I mean really dominate at night. X80Xer, other times heard done 1020 KCKN, Roswell, New Mexico at night. Zen Pharaohs, just for completeness, check the PL230, which we know has a small ferrite. Well, look at my, did I use it? Yeah, well, yesterday, if you guys want to check something quite surprising, it's how well the RadioWow R108 competes with the CC Radio 2E on medium wave. Jeremy Show's trying to get the specs of the antenna. TVDXer says 1130, super strong. Jeffrey, what kind of antenna are you connected to with your SDR for shortwave? The MLA30 loop outside. I've got a multi-coupler here, so I can plug up to 4 radios on the MLA30. Cool AM radios got 6180 AM S9 plus 10 and the 20 Netherlands receiver. Moises, have you considered coupling this receiver with the AN48 active antenna? It helped me beat a bit of the noise in my apartment. Yeah, but the problem is this room is the problem. This is the room where I have all my computer technology stuff. So just right now, there's 3 computers running. There's a computer for the stream. There's my gaming computer there that has the SDR. And there's another computer there that's running on Windows 10. They're all on, which is my typical daily setup for YouTube stuff. So that plus my audio console's power supply seems to be quite noisy, plus all the other things that are plugged here around. it's a room that is impossible unless I have an outdoor antenna. So if I add any loop to it, it's just going to increase the noise. I use a Texan AM200 passive loop, which I find much better for medium wave, personally. Sam Farrows, while we were talking medium wave, I pulled out the Panasonic RFB45 and it's getting 1210 Philadelphia quite nicely. What else do we have? 710 WOR. Yeah, I should get that. Let's try it out. 710 WR. Let's go down to 710. What if I do quick tune here? What does it do? Oh, it goes by 100 kilohertz at a time. So quick tune is very useful. So 710. Let's see if I hear anything. They're very weak right now. Probably maybe in a fade out right now. So here I'm in DX. RF gain is at max. Yeah. Here's one thing. I just noticed a flaw. My volume is at maximum right now. That is rather low audio. For a big radio like this when the signal is not strong enough. So that means the audio, when signals are weak, isn't as strong. So 710.
1.9 illegal immigrants. All of these people, they're going to cause extraordinary.
WABC 770.
You remember
from New York.
What happened when they started taking on.
I could null it out pretty much. Almost.
This is going to happen with us. We have 60% of Canadians fit.
See, this is an example that isn't bad. So it has a narrow, wide switch. I've got 810 here. So in Montreal, 800
2 years into this
is,
thing, and we have yet to see any indication really that
is CJ80, which is a powerhouse here right now.
based on advice.
I go on 810, and there's a station there. And there's a narrow switch. Seems to work quite well in removing the interference off of CJ80 800. This is Toronto. That's the CBC French in Toronto. 860 kilohertz. I really got an interference directly on 880. This WCBS is there, but I've got a smack of noise directly there. It's pretty interesting.
He desires in the next 8 years.
1300 kilohertz.
This is part of that. Is there some ideological chieftain or philosopher that they rely on from your perspective?
It seems to be interesting on medium wave. That I got to say, I think it's going to be an interesting test for medium wave DXing. I think it's going to be a very interesting test on this radio. I like the fact that you can leave the display light on all the time. This is one thing that I like of all radios that actually have the possibility of having this light on, because it really, I hate it when, at night you have to always press that light button because radio doesn't have any way of having the light on all the time on batteries. But I want to check something here. That might be a flaw, and we're going to check it out here. You have to remember to turn off the light when you switch off the radio, though, because I think the light stays on all the time. So that could drain batteries if you forget. What else do we have? Finn Farrell said PL330 does pretty well with such a small ferrite, but I will take notice of your R808 review. R808 has a longer ferrite, so technically should be better. I don't think I have tested both on this on medium wave. I should do that. The R108 you're talking about. Okay, R108. Yeah, the PL330 though as a because it has single sideband and is much better technically. VE2 FGJ. My plan. Well, I'm going to receive 200 feet of wire tomorrow, and that's when pretty much the planning is going to start for an HF antenna for my FD450. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date with what exactly I'm going to do. Jeffrey, I have the Eton 30 plus 2. It's a really great antenna for the money. Yep. In noisy environments is totally amazing. 4625, the buzzer. This one's a tough one here. Let's try it on the SDR. 4625. Upper sideband. Am I hearing anything? Nope. I haven't heard the buzzer in a while here. Last time I've heard the buzzer is many months ago. I'm going to have to... deep winter is not the best time for the buzzer here. Nor in summer isn't either. So it's like there's this little spot like October, November, and maybe somewhere around February to March where it's going to be the buzzer can often be heard here in North America. But I've never really heard it in January or December, pretty much. And in the summer, forget it, with all the pole that is always in sunlight. I never hear it in the summer. Senfaros, about the U-loop, Emily 30 plus compare. You have two SDR that are interesting. Here, my SDR Duo likes the Emily 30 plus better than the U-loop, but the HF Discovery likes the U-loop better. So that's going to be interesting to check out. The different antennas have different interactions with different types of radios. So it's definitely something to think about also. I don't have any really affiliate links or anything, but I do have a PayPal. If you want to send anything, the PayPal here for contributions for new radios and stuff is this PayPal that I will be posting here. Just send to that email address, Yahoo email. And PayPal, and you're going to be contributing to the channel, basically. Stars 88 Dakota, WABC is nice on Saturday nights. They play music with cousin Bruce Morrow. Keegan 630 has KYFI St. Louis over there. William, is that Eton also on the market with brand name Getronics or even Grundig? I am not sure, but I would not be surprised that you could maybe see it with a Grundig name on it. Most of the radios from Eton, when you start looking around, you start finding that the same radio is branded with Grundig on it and stuff like that. So it would be possible. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Vectronics, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised that it can be branded with another name. Thomas Tamaro, nice to have you on board from Jersey. RJD Dakota, WSM, comes in Winsville pretty much all day in wintertime. JGH says, do you use a vertical or horizontal antenna for shortwave? Always better with a horizontal because you can have a much longer antenna. Vertical is you have a limit of how long it can be, and vertical antennas tend to be very noisy because they receive equally everywhere, so they get all the noise. Where a horizontal wire, you can place it in a certain way that to try to avoid as much noise as possible. And of course, the fact that it is much longer will get you much more signal. Jim from Rhode Island, nice to have you here. Avid tea drinker. Radio that doesn't have a keypad is a deal breaker. Yeah, I don't like radios without keypads in general. But the quick tune button, making it tune 1 megahertz at a time on shortwave and 100 kilohertz at a time on medium wave, makes it a kind of an okay trade-off for sure. What else? Dr. Sisop, nice to have you on board. I have no teeth in the bottom right now. It's I got a dental surgery, so I've got a few missing teeth. It's not the microphone. It is my own mouth that's creating that. Kev Michael, Sanjian 909X is good on the top end of the AM band. Dustin Loaf is using an 11-meter dipole. Zen Pharaohs, the past week the buzzer turned into the beeper for a while. Got that from YouTube live feed. Yeah, I've heard that. I went to I was using one of the Kiwi SDRs, and I actually had I checked for the buzzer and it was actually beeping. It was kind of weird. Jet Crafter, nice to have you here from southern Maine. Warm today, a whopping 26 Fahrenheit. Keegan is checking reception with the Eton Grenic Edition Field B2 and Eton Grenic Edition satellite with SSB. I can't get anything on 730 here because the 730 kilohertz is a CKAC, which is a very strong traffic station. Zen Pharaoh's completely correct about matching antennas and radios. There is actually physics underneath it, but it's in that area where you can't measure and control everything. And the thing here is the fact also that, for example, I have some All-American 5 receivers, and I tried the Texan AN 200 loop on it to see. And when you try that radio, that antenna with old All-American 5 tube receivers, it just doesn't work. You can't find a spot to tune and increase the signal. It's funny because it's probably because of the way these radio works. The coupling doesn't work well. And you got to think about all the voltages and the tubes in there that probably are interfering in the way also. Sidewalk Sally, my wife bought me a Texan PL680 for a Christmas present because she knows I love amateur internet radios. Can you give me some tips with Texan? It depends what you want to know. The best way is to tune around, and if you don't hear anything, is to check out the antenna, an outdoor wire antenna, and check out the different schedules of shortwave stations. Nico, 3250. KCBS Pyongyang. Depending on where you are, it's possible. Here in North America, it's difficult, but yeah, but I have to wait 3 months, Dr. Sisop. It's I got 6 teeth pulled out. You need to have I need to wait 3 months for all of it to so that the gums actually get healed correctly. What else do we have? Keegan, salut TVDXer, fais attention à toi. À samedi. What else do we have? Yeah, the best thing you could do, Sidewalk Sally, is to tune around at different times of day on the frequency ranges. You'll hear stuff and you'll slowly get into it. Look at a lot of the videos on my channel. There's a lot of stuff explaining how to tune and tuning around different times of day or night. One of the biggest problems is the fact that you might have a lot of noise inside your home, and that will require you to either have some sort of outdoor antenna or to have some way of just listening somewhere else. If you look at some of the videos I have, what happens is that you notice that when you're inside a home and when you go out far from the houses in a park, for example, what happens is that you notice that there's a lot more signal suddenly because there's no noise there. What else do we have? James Farley, PL 880 Zion 9 kilohertz filter on AM, great speaker too. Don't think the 501 has that wide of a filter. I don't know what's the widest filter on AM for the H501. I don't remember, but personally, it's something I don't really care because I find that using a standard 5 kilohertz or 6 kilohertz filter is enough most of the time. But I know that some people kind of like the fact that you can have a wider filter on AM. Yeah, it's an Eton Elite field radio that I got today, Jeffrey. Dr. Sisop doing some scans with WWCR, CHU. So Sally in Finland. In Finland, you should get a lot of stuff. If you tune around at different times of day, especially afternoon, night, in Finland, you're going to have a lot of signals. Jim, how does the new Ethon pull in WBZ AM 1030 at night at your location? I hear it's strong. I just tuned it a little earlier. If you want to hear it again, I'm going to go there. So 1030 WBZ is very, very good here. It's always a strong station here. Here we go. I tried to get it away from the computer. Here we go.
Unlike cortisone injections and medications which temporarily mask pain, prolotherapy helps stimulate your body to actually repair itself. Severe pain due to arthritis or new and old tendon and ligament injuries, prolotherapy helps.
WBZ Boston is always a strong one here. It's always a pretty good reception here. Havana, Cuba, 6000 distorted again. Yeah, they have a lot of problems. So I can't, Dr. Sisop, on WCBS, I got one of the equipment here has a buzz exactly on 880. That's totally blocking 880. We tried earlier, so I couldn't do it. Yeah, Sidewalk Sally, you're in the right place, anyways, for playing radio and testing out. A simple example, Radio Vanicube on 6,000 kilohertz in Finland should probably make it right now. You probably should could be able to receive that that station, Radio Vanicube, although it seems to be distorted tonight. Let me just check out here what we have. There we go. Okay, sorry guys, I just got distracted for a second. Zenfaros 1030 WBZ strong. Hector Vasquez. Greetings from Los Angeles, California. Huge COVID spike here. Saying hello, listening to Shortwave. That's the best thing to do. Staying inside, listening to our radios, and staying safe. Joe Rodman, nice to have you here from Chicago area. Nice to have you on board. So, my first impressions, of course, it's a mixed bag because of the different, there are positive sides and all. The sound is good. Sound quality is pretty amazing. So for those that didn't see it yet, the Eton Elite Field Radio BT with Bluetooth. Pretty nice big radio. People that like big radios, it's pretty nice big radio. Gotta tell you that. Doesn't have single sideband, so that is a negative on it. No keypad. It does add to a frustration of experience of tuning, maybe. Although the quick tune seems to be good at doing so. And I guess the memory, it's one of those radios where the memory channels are important to fix, because to use, actually, to have the proper setup so that you can tune quickly between frequency ranges. Audio is great. Sensitivity seems to be good. Shortwave, we couldn't really test much with no antenna connection possible right now. Medium wave stuff was good. The RDS functionality on FM was amazingly nice. Really big letters also. I like that. I kind of like the orange feel of the display also. It's one of those, when I have a few radios that have this orange type display, and I kind of like it, honestly. And it's nice to see that the radio is you can leave it on. Also, there's one thing that's really nice that I just noticed. I don't know if you guys probably can't see it much, but look at the buttons. I don't know if they're going to show up here. The buttons are illuminated. So in darkness, I can see the button, the key light button. They're all illuminated. The up down button here at the bottom. So this is nice. It's like the Texan PL398. It's not the best radio, unfortunately, but dang, it's really, really a lot of fun to be able to see all the keypad, illuminated keypad. It's something that we need. 4185 upper sideband, ultra shortwave radio. I don't know if we can hear something like that here. Let's try it out. 4185. Anything here? 4185. And we're hearing. Not hearing anything here. Not hearing anything here. Kev Michael has Radio Havana on 6000. Frank Ireland emailed Eton about the Elite satellite. Eton responded saying that they are hoping for a release next month. I then called Universal Radio and was told that Eton has been contacting them about it. So we'll see. We'll see. Shortwave range is up from 1711 to 29999. It's a full coverage. It's sad that it doesn't have SSB, because that full coverage single sideband would have been very useful on it. Frank Ireland says Universal still honoring my pre-order from 2 years ago. Yeah, we'll see. A lot of people are skeptical, saying that they don't think it's going to come out, but if it does and you do get it, well, I hope you let us know what you think about it. It's kind of interesting. It's I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna actually work out for sure. We'll see. And I guess it's been delayed and delayed and delayed and pushed back all the time. So it's kind of interesting. And I don't know. Maybe the shortage of some of the electronics chips and parts could play a role in there also, in the reason why it's delayed, but kind of interesting here. We'll see what's going to happen with that for sure. So, bonsoir, Christian Marcoux. Take care. Fais attention à toi. It was nice to have you on board. So, you know what, you guys, it's a little short, I know, 2 hours tonight, but I think we're gonna call it quits for tonight because I am a little tired for everything I did today. Gonna take it easy and maybe go in the kitchen, test out the field radio, and who knows, maybe post a couple of videos if I feel like it. So, hope you enjoyed the show and the unboxing of the Eton Elite Field BT radio. It was fun to play around with a little bit, show you guys what it's all about. The video's coming up. And some review. Of course, a review will be out in a few days after I tested well on Shortwave. So a nice little radio. So, okay, guys, stay safe, and we'll be back on Saturday, 20 hours Universal Time, and we'll talk radio and more radio and have fun with radio. So, take care, everybody, and look for those videos. And radio on. Turn on the radio and listen. Bye-bye.